Hey yo, this is Team Afterlife coming to hit you hard with another deck build, Gravekeepers. Yeah, I've seen so many of them going out, and I mean, why not have my own? Mine is not only competitive, it hits hard. It gets rid of all those. It gets rid of all those monsters that come back from the graveyard or use the graveyard, like Black Wings, or probably most likely you'll be seeing them against zombies and all that. But I mean, it just locks down the graveyard. You can't get nothing back, so might as well hit them hard in there. All right. All of our decks are up for sale, up for trade. Just tell us, and we'll see. Just message us and give us your thoughts, your opinions. Subscribe, message, and we'll get the job done. All right. So we're gonna start off with the monsters, like always. We're gonna have 3 Gravekeeper spies. Real great. Just put them down the fence. Flip, special summon. Probably special summon another spy or special summon something in defense mode. And then with Necro Valley on the field, they're running. If they run into it, that's a 25 hitting wall right there. And I mean, there's nothing to play with, like always. So I mean, it's real good. Then I have 3 assailants. Some people run 2. I'd say I run 3 because I use it for its effect. It's a real good effect with Necro Valley. Switch to defense mode, switch to attack, do whatever you need necessary to get that monster out of the way. And most synchros have those weak defenses, and when Necro Valley's on there, it gains 500 attack. So I mean, it could pretty much kill almost anything. So I mean, it's real good. Then you have 3 guards. Put those synchros back in their place. It's a nice wall, and I mean, it just sets them back one good turn. Then that's pretty much all you need just to hit them hard. Then 3 soldiers. A lot of people run 2 of these, but I run 3 because you never know when you need to pierce monsters for those monsters that are destroyed by battle. Like some annoying shield wing, some Sheba, like one of my team members worked with, and Marshmallow. A lot of people use Marshmallow to hit that 1,000 damage, but go ahead and hit them back or run with it. Then 3 commandants. Use those to get your Necro Valleys. This deck really needs Necro Valleys, so I mean, use these to get them from your deck, and I mean, it really helps. And then plus, if you've used them all, you could just use this dude for 21 attacker. Yeah, he hits hard, get it good. And then 2 descendants. I only run 2 because his effect is OP, and by the time he's gone, you pretty much either win the duel or you're already going to end the game procedure. So I mean, it really does hit pretty hard. Then 2 chiefs. I hate that you only can have 1, but his effect is good. Your graveyard isn't affected by Necro Valley, so go ahead and get that done. And that's real good. Plus, sacrifice 1 monster, summon him, get a monster back, say get a descendant, then if something's bothering you, tribute, get them out. So I mean, chiefs, they're really good. They're really good. Then priestess. People say I should run 2. 1's fine. I just like her effect. She's pretty much an additional Necro Valley. Put her in the fence just so that she can be safe and all that. And yeah, just stall until you can get your Necro Valley. Pretty much, yeah. Then 1 visionary, hard hitting monster, pretty much your tank of the deck. He hits hard for every Gravekeeper in your graveyard. Pretty good part of in-game procedure. And then have a Gravekeeper, a couple of Gravekeepers in your hand to protect him. So if he's destroyed, you can discard 1 instead. He'll still be on the field. And I mean, he's really good. Necro Valley makes him hit very, very hard. And I mean, it really gets it. Then Morphing Jar. I use them as a staple. Not many people do, but I use them as a staple because I mean, if you have crap hands, you really do need something to get all that back. So I mean, Morphing Jar really helps. Plus, I use his effect to get things in the graveyard. Also with Necro Valley, keep things in the graveyard and lock them there. And I mean, he's really good. He saved me multiple times in this deck and in my zombies. So I mean, he's reliable. I put him in any deck, especially those hard-hitting decks that really do having no hands. Now let's go into our synchros. our tuners to get our synchros basically. So Infernity Avenger, Witch of the Black Rose, and Knight and Sorcerer. The thing that I use for Infernity, use him for like a lot of times with this deck. If you're most likely gonna have no cards in your hands because you're already controlling the field and controlling the graveyard and everything. Him right here, have him in your graveyard. So that say you have a monster is destroyed, he can be a defense. He turns into whatever level that monster was, and then if you have another monster, most likely a 4-star, synchro for 8, synchro for 7, synchro for pretty much whatever you need. He's real good for this deck. I don't see why not many people are running him. Then you have Black Rose. I mean, she's real good. She's 4-star. Her effect isn't bad. So I mean, she's really good. She has 17 attack, so she's pretty hard hitting. So I mean, synchro for your big monsters. That's real good. Knight in, sometimes you just need that 2-star. He helps. And then by chance, if you do special summon him, it's just an added bonus. Because I mean, you remove 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard. Get it done. Now we're going into our spells. Necro Valley, of course, staple for this deck. You have to have it. 3 Book of Moons to have your guard or your spy flip them face down, so you can get more out of them than just that. Works all the time. People hate this deck for that. Work on it. It really does work. Then Magical Dimensions. I would run 1, but I mean 2 helps really good because I mean sometimes you may have this big monster that's hitting you hard. So I mean you can use that. That's a good advantage. 3 Gravekeeper Servants. I don't use these as much as you think you would, but it's good to get those magic and traps that your opponent wants to win with. Get those out of there, and plus get the monsters to lock them down. Magic and trap lock them down, so they're not gonna get those back as long as you have Necro Valley. So it really works for the deck. I don't advise you using them as your main goal, but use them as a little setback for your opponent. Royal Tribute. I would run 2, 3's a dead draw. They're pretty much a staple, but make sure, that's why I use Avenger, because pretty much when you use all the cards all your monsters or anything like that, you can just empty out your hand. Basically you have magic trap in your hand, set those down, and then you have a really good, and then you can use Avenger to get out one of the famous synchros. So, and then Cold Wave, Lockdown, then Mysticals, staple. I would run 3, I just run 2 because just need to get things out of the background. Torrential Tribute, staple, get things in the graveyard, main point. I run Compulsory because sometimes you just need to send whatever that's annoying you back. Just like, it's like another guard basically, and it really helps. That really does help to set back. Open game procedure, you can hit them directly pretty much because you can just put that back. And then 3 Sakuretsus for my defense. Yeah, they really do get them going, hitting the graveyard. And then a lot of people use Dimensional Prisons, but for this deck, Sakuretsus, they do enough. So it really does work. Now for my synchros. Power Tool, I use them as a wall, and don't really use them to hit hard. And sometimes I'll use Sea Dragon, but it doesn't really help as much. Then Ancient Fairy, I love using Ancient Fairy, just a wall, or I need to gain life, get it back, or if I don't have Necro Valley on the field and your opponent has one of those annoying field cards, then get it out of the way, gain your 1,000, get your Necro Valley, put it on the field. There you go. Then Red Archfiend, staple. Iron Chain, things in the graveyard, you need it. I use it almost every deck. Goyo, you can't really much get things back, but you need that beat stick. He's the beat stick of all beat sticks of the game, what I believe, and it really helps. Main hard hitter of the deck, Infernity Doom. He never attacks. I usually combo the other Infernity, Avenger, to bring him out. What I do is, usually in any deck that I use him in, he never attacks. Just get rid of those annoying, especially all those man eaters and everything, and then inflict some damage while you're at it. That's just a plus plus. Stardust main. Who does not use Stardust? I'd hate you if you don't. Now, I mean, for this deck, most people say I should use Malefic Stardust for it, but no, don't. Regular Stardust is way better, and I mean, it's real good. Alright, thanks. Comment, subscribe, rate, and tell us about your friends and everything. If you want any trades or whatever, we're up for it. Thank you. Alright.